Total solutions for any mix, any volume. All managed by Panasim Enterprise Edition. Panasonic. Total solutions beyond SMT.
Hello, this is Bob Willis at SMT Nuremberg, and I'm joined by David Bergmann, Vice President for Standards and Training. And I wanted to ask David, we've had a discussion just recently about the growth and interest in 620, and sort of what are your plans for that, sort of more and more training and other events around this document?
So the 620 is our acceptability document for wire harness. And we have had it, we're in B revision now. The C Rev is coming out this year, and we've had since the 0 Rev, the original publication, it's been had a certification and training program that we put in place at the request of the industry. And over the years, the level of interest has continued to grow in this activity. In fact, in some parts, it's now our second most popular training program following the A610, which is kind of astounding to see the amount of growth. So it's been an exciting program for us, a lot of committee interest. We've done some collateral standards at the request of industry on design of wire harness, and we see that interest growing. We'd like to, since there is industry interest, we want to see if we can do additional programming in support of the wire harness industry. We're talking about trying to put a conference together in Europe and US and do it in different parts of the world to start to get, I think that industry is still on the upward trend globally, and so this would be some things that we want to do some additional programming for in the future. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we've been IPC's been coming and doing competitions, the hand soldering, the rework being new, and but we've been coming to SMT Nuremberg and maintaining a presence for many years. And what fascinated me this year is the amount of booth traffic and people coming and asking about standards. And so, what does IPC have on this? I've got this problem on selective soldering. I've got this conformal coating problem, and so that's new. I hadn't seen that before. Continental Automotive joined IPC Board of Directors recently, and they've asked to help work with us on a press fit pin standard for printed circuit boards, and we've also released a European-led addendum for automotive printed circuit boards. That was developed by a European-led task group. So we're finding avenues to get the European companies, make it easier for them to participate, and maybe that word's getting out. We will be announcing within the next day or so that we've hired a staff member that can help us with the committees that we might hold here. So, I see that we have a global collaboration activity on standards, and we will have some efforts where the European group may meet locally and feed into a U.S. committee, and there will be others where it's a European-led group, and the U.S. and Asia will feed into that group. So it's a global industry. We want to find ways to make it easy for people to collaborate on standards. We do have an electronic tool. We call it Covey, which is essentially a committee tool which allows people to post minutes and comments and such. And that enables people, no matter where they are, whatever time zone, to be able to participate. So we see that continuing, and it's an exciting development to see the number of questions and interests. So hopefully we'll be able to add more value.
Just coming back to the 620 again, obviously you refer to it as the harness specification. However, it's so much more, crimping, coax terminations, wire preparation. In fact, it's a really how to do it standard.
Certainly, and that's an interesting thing about the training program for that. While some of our training programs are just document knowledge, you get something out there and the industry says, but we really need hand skills work. Can you do this? Can you do that? So many of the training companies, and maybe you'll talk to some of them directly, but their customers have said, yes, we want our students to understand the standard, but we need them to do some crimping as part of that. And so you're correct. There is a hand skills portion of that the industry has said pretty clearly that they're looking to get involvement. We have space addendums for that, so NASA has been really involved in trying to do it for those type of applications. And then there's a training program, very complex one, where it's almost a full week of hand skills work for that challenging environment.
Just a final question, and perhaps kind of putting you on the spot. You probably know that in the automotive industry, generally speaking, the majority of automotive customers don't allow their contractors to touch up or rework a lot of devices. What do you see as the main reason for that?
Well, the automotive has they have warranty issues, they have liability issues. Certainly systems, engine control, and braking control. There's some significant impact concerns if they get involved in allowing something and then they have potential legal liability down the line. However, I believe that you will start to see some kind of gradation or moderation of that. The reason why I say that is that we have struggled. We have always had the defense contractors and aerospace guys involved in our standard, always struggled to get the automotive guys come in. But recently we had this automotive addendum, which was driven by TRW and Bosch and some of the Autoliv and these folks that were in there. And I said, well, what happened? Why did all of a sudden this interest? Well, the sheer amount of electronics being put into the cars, you have to look for opportunities to lower cost. Well, if you look at the reliability requirements and therefore the liability, is your backup camera as a liability concern? So the comments that we got from the automotive folks that were there is that we need to lower the costs, we want to maintain the quality, we don't want to test it to death. And so they wanted to look at, say, how can we modify this specification? So I think it's the same way. If they have certain applications, these will be something that they would then consider for the future. But there will be other systems say, well, this is the heart. I can't mess with the heart. And so I think that's still yet to play out, but I do believe that there will be opportunities to see that kind of decision being made, just as they're trying to look at standards to lower the cost.
Well, thank you very much, David, for taking time out to speak to me here at SMT Nuremberg. And if you're particularly interested, we have a few survey questions that have been answered in the latest edition of Global SMT, which you can pick up online. And there are 4 different answers to questions we posed, and find out what about 100 people said on those questions. This is Bob Willis for Global SMT here at SMT Nuremberg.